I got fortunate. I lived in a cocoon of an immigrant family where like having a roof over your head and having clothes was like, and food was like a huge win. Both of my parents did not care about other people's opinions. They didn't flash. They didn't need to go buy something expensive. So that became a framework. I also got very lucky that I was so loved and my house was so happy because of my mom when we were super poor when we came to America. So I learned at a very young age that money and stuff did not bring happiness. So I was built for it. I was trained for it, and then I practiced it. You know, I think in high school, instead of going to the cool party on a Friday night, I decided to do a baseball card show and sell cards because I was an entrepreneur. I love the process more than, you know, playing spin the bottle, though that was cool and I wanted to do that at 15. I really just wanted to be an entrepreneur, and so I've always had a cocoon, and it just has continued to accelerate, and this is why I talk a lot about this. It's crazy when you realize the prettiest girls in your high school, the richest guys in the world right now, how insecure they are, right? How much everything they do is to impress others that they don't even know. And I get it, like your parent, you know, your dad never loved you the way you wanted and you want to stick it to them, or the girl broke your heart and you want to make a ton of money to prove to her, you know, like I get it. And you know, I get it and you'll laugh given our connection. I actually understand the rest of the world predominantly through the lens of being a football fan. And I mean this, the only place I envy, like I genuinely hate New England Patriot fans. And I mean that. And I know, like, I heard the laughs and I appreciate it, but I'm gonna be incredibly transparent and like give you an insight. So much of what makes me understand the balanced world is my complete irrationalness of being a New York Jets fan and knowing what envy and jealousy and I'm hurt so I want you hurt. I'm completely inappropriate at football games. You should have seen me yelling at Taylor Swift from the seats last
Gary,
week.
we'll have to talk about that as a Swiftie.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, it's incredibly challenging to be jealous and hurt and not feel in control. All things I feel as a Jet fan, none of the things I feel in life. So I love everyone from a race and gender and religion and income level and part of the world standpoint in real life because I'm fulfilled, I'm happy, I'm at peace. It's simple. Do you know how excited I get when people outperform me in my own industries? Of course I'm competitive and I'd like to win, but I don't hate. I don't tear down others. But in football I do. In football, and because I feel that to the core of my soul, it makes me realize, oh my God, I do this in this silly arena known as the NFL. This is how the world is living their lives. There are people who actually hate other people because they see politics differently. That blows my mind. Or for the people in the room, they hate people that are successful in a business that they're in because they're better than them at it. I don't want that for anybody here because I only have to be angry for 4 hours every Sunday for 4 months a year. Everybody else here is doing that 365 days a year for their life, and I don't like that.
How do you really live and breathe gratitude every day, and how can we do the same?
Do you know that I never write down 3 things I'm grateful for? I don't meditate on it. I do nothing like that. I just do it every second of my life. Do you know that multiple times a day, I will think about things that are challenging that I hope don't happen, like getting a phone call that someone I love had a stroke, that someone I love is diagnosed with a disease, that someone I love suddenly died in a car accident, because these are real things that happen to real people. I also struggle with complete delusion. Do you understand that everyone in this audience lives a remarkable life in comparison to the 8 billion people on Earth? Do you know that 735 million people on Earth, almost 10%, do not have access to clean water? Clean water. Like, I don't know, there's some water. Like, do you, like the jacket you're wearing, the hat, this is a $40 hat.
Well, it's from Express, it's not Oud.
But you know what's so amazing about that, right? Like, think about this, like, the fact that you on a Friday evening, afternoon are able to watch this or be in the audience, like, I don't think people understand. And I don't expect people to understand. I know I got lucky in being born in one of the most horrible places in the world. I know I got lucky by living with 8 family members in a studio apartment for multiple years. I know I got lucky that my parents basically didn't buy me toys because that's not what we spent our money on. I know that I'm hungry because I wasn't fed. I know that I'm not entitled. I know. But for everyone who's listening, you have to go through the work. On the flip side, I grew up not eating healthy, not being told that that's important, not working out. And at 38 years old, I changed that. And for the last 10 years, I've put in the work for something that didn't come natural. I also grew up with a mom that's the sweetest, but she lacked candor, which meant I lacked candor. And candor has been disproportionately my kryptonite in my professional and personal career, and that I can go backwards and tell you everything that has not worked for me in the last 25 years, and I can tell you immediately that the seed of that not working out was my inability to deliver candor to somebody, which led to resentment on my end, or me being sloppy and them not respecting me for my lack of candor. So, and I know I've worked on that the last 4 or 5 years after a lot of pain professionally and personally. So I would argue, though I can understand that people in the audience can't do gratitude the way I can, that I've worked very hard. I know that people have put in the work to work on their alcoholism. They've put in the work to work on their depression. And I just challenge everybody here to not just say, well, it doesn't come natural to me, like work on gratitude. And the way you work on gratitude is, if writing it down 3 times in the morning works, well then actually do it every day, not for 2 weeks, January 1st to the 13th, and then give up. Like, work is work. And if you're unhappy and you've got some money, go to therapy. And if you don't have money, go start listening to more positivity. Go take a walk, work on your health. Like, you are accountable, you are capable. Don't blame the president, don't blame your grandma, don't blame your mom, don't blame the mayor. Blame yourself. And don't blame yourself like I suck and beat yourself up. Have compassion to you that this is my circumstance, but I can fix it. And all of this stuff, bringing it down to the ground instead of the clouds that I'm in right now, all of this stuff has a direct correlation of you being a good founder and CEO. Because it's hard. And the real issue is who you are when it's hard is the whole game. Because your team doesn't need a leader that is nice when it's good, but then when you lose a big account or something goes bad, you're yelling and screaming and scaring everyone. A real leader is best when it's worse. I want to also show compassion. I hate that we've weaponized words. Privilege. I promise you, everyone in America is privileged at some level. Like, you can look at privilege from a lot of angles. Do you know that I believe that if you were born into extreme wealth, you're less privileged?
I've heard you say this. Will you expand on it to the audience? I think it's super fascinating.
Yes, I think people have weaponized privilege, and I don't want people to feel bad that are sitting in the audience who happen to be fortunate enough that their parents or grandparents have done well. Like, I don't view that as privilege. I believe that if you are 2nd or 3rd generation wealthy and you're a purebred entrepreneur, you're in a very precarious spot because no one's ever gonna give you credit because everyone's always gonna say mommy and daddy put you on. That stinks. I think we need to stop weaponizing things. Stop judging everybody. Like, everybody's got something, I promise you, everybody's got something. Instead of judgment and envy and jealousy, why don't we all lean into compassion, sympathy, and empathy and understand that everybody's got something. The amount of people that come up to me and just assume my life is good because I have a blue check mark and some followers and a couple of dollars, get the fuck out of here.